Good morning, everybody. This is a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee with a 3.6 liter in it. It was towed in. I was told the customer was experiencing the radio screen turning on and off constantly as the vehicle would sit in the off position. With the vehicle turned off, it would just turn on and off by itself randomly. So obviously there's some kind of update with the computer that needs to be done, or a new center stack needs to be installed, new radio needs to be installed. But I was also told it's just flat out dead. Gonna have to take a jump pack out to the car. Well, I did do that. Took a jump pack out to the vehicle, and I jumped the post, the negative post here and the positive post here, and I found that it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't helping light up the cluster. It was just flat out not doing anything. Then I got my power probe and I came to the fuse box, and I wanted to see if I had supply power here to this pin, for this main post to go into the fuse box. And I had like 3.84 volts. I was like, oh wow, something's wrong here. This main jump spot was not powering this up enough to allow it to jump. I started doing some more research, and I found out inside this vehicle there's something called an auxiliary battery. The auxiliary battery is the main feed for this. So let's look at the auxiliary battery. I just undid the seat so I can inspect the wiring harness and stuff inside here. You don't have to do this. You can slide the seat all the way forward. The auxiliary battery is that little itty bitty tiny battery back there. And they're known for going bad in these. Also, when I was working, the independent stuff, not at the dealership, the Mercedes would come in with those bad all the time as well. They're known for going bad. What ended up happening is this radio had turned on and off so much that it drained down the battery, and somebody jumped this vehicle backwards. I came back out here. Actually, I went to the auxiliary battery itself back there, and it only had 4 volts to it. I pulled the auxiliary battery out, came here, put it on my Top Don Tornado 90,000 battery tender rejuvenator kind of thing. Got it up to about 12.5 volts, put it back in the vehicle. Vehicle started up, no problem. Got it back in the stall. Got it inside here. Once I got it inside, I let it run for about 5 minutes, and then I monitored the voltage at the auxiliary battery, and I noticed it was dropping. The alternator was trying to keep everything charged, but it was not charging the auxiliary battery. So I had to figure out why the power wasn't making it back to the auxiliary battery to keep it charged. I started combing through the system, pulled the fuse box out of it. There's supposed to be a relay underneath it. There is no relay underneath it. So the Chrysler tech that I was using for a little bit of information, he was like, oh, that's odd. I thought for sure there would be a relay underneath that. Sometimes those relays go bad. Then I took and raked the whole entire fuse box, checking all the relays and fuses. Everything looked good. Still not getting 12 volts to the fuse box. Then I start backtracking the wires and stuff through the system to see where maybe I got to rub through or something's going on. I don't really know at this point. I'm just trying to inspect everything that I can. And then I remembered I had a 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and it came in for a no crank, no start. Unless there was a jumper pack put on it, it wouldn't start, it wouldn't crank. That didn't have an auxiliary battery, I don't believe. But what I did find is the alternator went bad in it. It backfed the PCM, killed the driver that turns on and off the voltage regulator in that early model, which PCM was bad at this point. The alternator was bad at this point. And I remembered that there's this fuse array. It's called a fuse array, but it's a fuse block. It's a fuse array up in this corner. So these wires go from this fuse box up here, come back in here, they come out over here into this fuse block. Well, I pulled it out. It's a 13 millimeter on the top that comes off, and then there's 2 tabs that push in on the side. Then you can pull this whole assembly out, and then you pull 2 little small tabs on the top. Here's the tabs on the side that you push in. Then the whole assembly slides off. And then you take a little pick and you undo these fingers here on each side. Then this slides off of it. And then you're exposed with this fuse array. Look at that last fuse on the left. It's popped. So I need to get a new fuse array block in order for this to come back online and start working properly. That's the 150 amp mega fuse that's in here that blew. Once I get this all undone and that replaced, that auxiliary battery will start charging again, and then I'll be able to have it taken to the dealer so they can update the computer system in it for the radio and put a new data set in it, and it'll stop turning on and off. And if it can't, then it's going to end up needing a new radio. So that's a no crank, no start. What it could be is that it kept draining the battery. They hooked the battery jumper backwards and it blew that 150 amp fuse. That's what happens almost every single time in these, is when they hook the jumper backwards, it blows the mega fuse. And I've had that in all manufacturers, Hondas, Toyotas, doesn't matter what it is. I've had that Lexus, Mercedes. When you jump the vehicle backwards, it will blow the main mega fuse, and that is the main mega fuse for this. So that would explain how that happened and why the auxiliary battery is not charging. Then when this is done, we're going to have to move to why the radio is turning on and off, but that's completely separate. That's going to have to go to the dealer for a data update first. I hope this helps you guys. I hope you found this somewhat interesting and me going through the troubleshooting steps here. But this is indeed a common issue on these from 2011 with the charging system issue and then the PCM going bad because it back feeds. It's a known problem on the earlier model 11, 12, 13 Grand Cherokees, and then all the way up until now with the crank, no starts. There you go. Check these areas and you'll be successful. Thanks. Always, thanks for watching. Be blessed. Hit that like button. Share it with somebody you think you're in an automotive group or Chrysler group, something like that. Help me out. Thank you guys.